Hello, this is Maria from visasinportugal.com. Today with another video because it's Monday. Today is questions day about the videos I did last week. And what is that? Tax residency in Portugal and tax returns in Portugal. Those were the videos I did last week, so check them out because today we are talking about questions about those videos. So, because this was information you asked for, I've got your back. This is what I'm doing today. If this is information you love, hit subscribe, say you love it, and we go from there. Let me check your questions. So, I own a company in Dubai Free Zone where I buy and sell crypto and stocks, and I manage everything remotely. Nice. If I move to Portugal, will I be taxed? I don't receive any income from my company. I use the gains to cover my travel and business-related expenses. So, there you go. At first, you said you own a company in Dubai, so your business is all in that company. Only if you receive dividends from that company, you are going to pay taxes in Portugal. If you become a tax resident of Portugal, meaning you spend more than 182 days in Portugal, and you put your Portuguese address associated to your Portuguese tax number, you are going to pay taxes in Portugal, but not of the company, of those dividends. And remember, Dubai is blacklisted for taxes in Portugal, right? So I wouldn't advise receiving dividends from that Dubai company just to don't raise any alarms or you don't want them to tax you, okay? And you can be living in Portugal and don't have a tax number if that's something you don't want to do. Okay, next question. When am I considered a tax resident of Portugal? Well, this one is easy. You are considered a tax resident of Portugal if you spend more than 183 days in Portugal or in any other country. If you spend more than 183 days in a country, you are a tax resident of that country. A little thing in Portugal, you need to have your Portuguese address associated to your Portuguese tax number for more than 183 days in order to become a tax resident of Portugal. Check that video I did, okay? Now, I'm a tax resident of Portugal. What income do I need to declare? Well, you need to declare everything. Right? But if you say, Maria, I have income from outside of Portugal that I'm already taxed in that country. Well, there's double tax treaties between Portugal and so many countries. We just need to search the country that you are in, where you were taxed, and then the double tax treaty will occur. And when you do a tax submission in Portugal, there's a lot of attachments. You choose the one for outside income. Okay? I have a fiscal address overseas, but I receive income in Portugal. How can I submit? You can submit a tax return in Portugal as a non-resident. Okay? There's a page, the 4A, where you can do on Form 3, where you can register this kind of income if you want to. Okay? Now, what happens if I change countries in the middle of the year? This is a really good question. Okay, so you have partial residency. Okay, you do the taxes of the time you spend in Portugal and the rest is for the other country where you used to live in. But be aware, if the other country where you are moving to has the same rules or if they are going to tax you for the whole year. In Portugal, they will tax you for the months you spend here, but not in that other country. You need to check that, okay? Is it possible to be a tax resident in both countries at the same time? Yes, that's possible. And you can, use that double tax treaty between the country that you are a tax resident of and Portugal, so the rules can apply in a way that benefits you, okay? How and when should I update my fiscal address? Well, you can do it online. You go to e-balcão at the tax portal. You have 60 days to do so. Or you can hire someone with a power of attorney to do that for you, or you can go there in person and change it, okay? What happens if I live overseas but I keep my fiscal address in Portugal? Well, if you maintain your fiscal address in Portugal, the tax authorities are going to assume that that's your habitual residency and you are going to be a tax resident of Portugal. What I always say is, you can have Portugal as a secondary house and the country that you are moving into be your permanent house. So you change the address in order to have this. If you say, Maria, but I want to continue being a tax resident of Portugal, then leave everything as it is. Okay? How does the IRS works for those who have a fiscal address overseas, but they have house or income in Portugal? Well, even if you live overseas and you have income in Portugal, you need to to declare it, even if it's capital gains on the selling of a house. Now, what the authorities normally demand is that you have a tax representative, something that is liable for your taxes. But I always tell my clients, if you do a statement whereby your owner you say, no, I'm going to update my address whenever I change it, I'm going to disclose my contacts, email address and phone number for the tax authorities to contact me whenever they need. I don't want a fiscal representative, because with the fiscal representative comes expenses, and you don't need to have those expenses. You can do it yourself. Okay? Is the NHR old regime still exists? Well, no. It ended on January 1st of 2024. But for those who were able to apply and were granted, it's still in place. You just cannot apply. New ones cannot apply anymore. Okay? Now, who is a subject of the taxes for IRS? Well, those who are tax residents in Portugal for more than 183 days, they have a Portuguese tax number and a Portuguese address associated to that Portuguese tax number. Okay? Now, what should I declare if I'm a pensioner in Portugal, but I have all my income, pension and everything from outside of Portugal? Well, question to be raised. Are you living in Portugal for more than 183 days? Do you want to be a tax resident of Portugal? Do you want to continue being a tax resident of the other country while you are traveling and do everything? Okay? You can be in Portugal, like I said, without a tax number. You can be in Portugal with a tax number but associated to a foreigner address and you're not a tax resident. Or you can be in Portugal with a tax number associated to a Portuguese address. You are going to be a tax resident. Then you have double tax treaties. Analyze all this information before you make any decisions. Do I want to be a tax resident of Portugal? If so, then I should update my Portuguese address to my Portuguese tax number, the NIF. Do I want to be eligible or benefit from the double tax treaties between those two countries? Then I need to search that treaty, analyze it, and choose the best solution for me. Or do I want to avoid all of this and just be traveling around the world, and Portugal included, while I'm being a tax resident of my other country? You can do that, okay? These are very good questions that you can ask, for example, to visasinportugal.com. That's why we have that first meeting where we disclose your circumstances, your needs and wants, and choose the best path for you. Because taxes are not something you should play with. Analyze it, structure it well, ask for questions if you don't know, and you can engage with us and have a meeting with us, okay? Let me know if this helped. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments. I'm here for you and I will analyze them all and answer them for you. Or send me an email or go to visasinportugal.com and do a form there with all the questions, okay? See you soon. Bye.